Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. We're going to be looking at the most active stocks in Yahoo Finance today. To be no surprise to anyone who has been trading the markets for the past few days, the number one stock that people have been looking at is Open. Now, if you don't know about Open, it's essentially a piece of shit trash SPAC that has blown up because the market is so frothy that we have seen it go from, where was it? It was at 56 cents. What day was that? Let's scroll down here. It was at 56 cents on June 27th. It had 182 million shares traded, and now today it is at $2.88. The thing that I would say is probably the most unfortunate is if you bought yesterday. If you bought yesterday and you were up 42%, you, depending on if it was the high of the day or not, you essentially saw it go from $3.21 down to $2.80. Now, that is not to be surprising considering the fact that we saw that there's a 1.8 billion shares traded yesterday. 1.8 billion. Do you understand how many shares that is of a thing of this size? That is insanity when you think about 1.8 billion, especially considering that the day before it was only 589 million. Before that, we were seeing a general 60 to 70 million shares traded. Back in the middle of June here, these were 70, 90, 84, 81, 68. The thing that I love though is that what you can see is that it very clearly went bullish on the 27th of June. And you can see it's been above the trade level ever since the 3rd of July when it went above 57 cents. This thing has been on a tear though. For me, what I'm looking at generally, if I'm looking at something open, is what I want to see primarily is something that looks like this. You're starting to see it go bullish. You're starting to see a massive breakout in the 1 month rolling return. I like when you have this negative rolling return here, especially on the 1 month. It's been on a negative rolling return since what? At least February of 2025. It goes positive for the first time, and then we get a humongous signal. It goes bullish, and then very, very quickly afterwards, we see the top of the range is showing higher highs. That's the reason why I look at this, because when I look at this range, all I want to see is that the range is starting to expand. That means volatility is going nuts inside of these stocks. And then when we look even closer, it's honestly, there's nothing you can really say here, except for the fact that you do want to see the price come back within the range. It's probably going to come back. The problem is that the trade level is at $1.08, and see the thing is the volatility is so insane that we are actually down at negative 90 cents. That's obviously not going to happen, but the range is going to start to snap back, but it's going to take a little bit of time. The thing is that I don't expect the volume to be this high. Let's look at what we had here. Let's go ahead and look at open in a general sense. Yeah, you're down nearly 8% after hours. That's to be expected, though. That's the thing about these kinds of moves is that you're going to see a flash. It's up 430. Is that real? Is it really up? Yeah, it is. It's up 443%, 403%. It's up nearly, yesterday was up 256% in 5 days. These kinds of moves, I hate to break it to you if you're watching this and really hoping that this is going to continue on. This is going to need a little bit of consolidation. Now, I'm not saying it can't continue to break out. I mean, it's showing some really positive returns now in that 1 month look or the 1 year look back. I do think that open is probably a candidate for something to pay attention to. I'm definitely going to put it into my portfolio real quick. I think it already exists in there. Let me go just check what I have in here. But open is definitely something that you're going to want to keep on your radar, especially if you're paying attention for the long term. Again, this thing is bonkers. It could go all the way to 306, and that's to be expected in all honesty. But right now, I can't in good conscience tell anyone, or at least I can't in good conscience in my mind even think to buy it. Let's see what it says here. This is a messy, massive volume, but the move is wildly extended. Yeah, it's of course it's a speculative blast, no real edge here, better to avoid. Based off of what I'm getting out of my AI, that makes perfect sense, right? Because when you're looking at open, what would you say you expect to happen here? Do you think it's going to go back to 306 and just hover there? I doubt it. If we're going to think about what it's going to do, most likely what it's going to do is probably come back to like this $2 level, right? This $2 level at one point was resistance. It's probably going to be support. We're probably going to see it continue to move. It's going to stay bullish. The trade level is going to continue to catch up, but there's really nothing that you can say from the perspective of what you think is going to happen here in open, other than you expect it to potentially have a gamma squeeze. That's the only thing you can really think. Let's go ahead and see what else we got. Go back, Lucid. Actually, I'm going to stop right there because this video should just purely be about open. I think one of the things that's most important to me is let's see what else is relatively similar to open. I think that's what we should do. Let's see what else is similar to open. Does it show you what other things people are looking at? Okay, compared to open, let's see what that is. ARRI? What is ARRI? Let's see what we have here for this. This looks like dog shit, doesn't it? The only thing that's positive that I would say is that you saw yesterday, you saw a massive, you got a big buy and a big, yeah, and a bull trigger. But again, this thing was up to 85 cents. It was up 347% yesterday and then down 46%. That's just a rough look. Doesn't matter who you are. OPAD, what's OPAD? Let's see OPAD here real quick because these kinds of moves, traditionally when you're looking in the market, these are going to be short-term moves that if you didn't get, you're not going to get. You're just not going to catch it. Again, OPAD, this is a nice move. It's showing some bullishness here, continuing to break out. Penny stocks are back. It looks like this is really going to be the era of penny stocks. I would consider this year to be 2021 light, in my opinion. It doesn't have the same thinny checks. It doesn't have the exact same profile of how we were trading the market in 2021. But you can start to see that there's some bullishness, there's some frothiness, and there is some absolute degenerate gambling going on in the market right now. This thing can go all the way up to 313. I would expect again for the bottom of the range to start breaking up, but I do not see anything positive necessarily happening in these. Again, who knows? We get a rate cut, maybe we get some sort of thing. But when I look at what I'm seeing here in open looks absolutely it's going to rip someone's face off to the downside. Somebody's going to load up their mortgage. Ooh, comp looks decent though. The thing that I love about comp here is that it's just slightly above the top of its range. It's a little bit higher in price. It's not necessarily a penny stock. It is under $10, which is definitely going to attract people. I do think we've got higher highs. I love that we got higher highs. Looks the volatility is really starting to break out, which you'd expect when you're seeing something that's up 16% in 1 month, 16% in 15 days, 12% in 5 days. These are good, but what you're going to want to do, especially if you use this app, is you're going to want to see it when it gets back in the green in the range that. I'm going to add this to my portfolio too, real quick. I do it though. Let's just see. I'm going to see what I'm going to do is because I just added it to my portfolio. I'm going to see how it compares. So you see at the bottom, the thing is that relative to where it is from the top, there's not much upside. That's the only problem. It's only 1.8% upside from here. So I don't expect it to necessarily be that great. What's Reacts? Let's see what Reacts is. Reacts, I'd be very curious about what we would expect. See this, yeah, this is not showing the same type of move. If you're looking for a follow-on move of something that's going to be open, I would actually probably go for this one. I'm going to add this to my portfolio real quick. The reason why is because this is just flip bullish. It is still with green, which means it's in its regular standard deviation range. It's in the middle of the range. The top of the range hasn't started to go higher just yet. You're seeing a higher high. That doesn't necessarily mean anything in particular, except for the fact that I think that you have a decent amount of upside from here. If we look, where is React? Oh, it didn't get added. Okay, let's look. Let's go. Add it. I want to make sure. I just want to see how far away this is from the top of the range. Oh, it didn't get added again. That is a bug that I'll have to work on this afternoon. But if we look at that, that is the one that I would add. Reacts. Reacts is, I'm not saying that open isn't going to be a great stock to own. It's not going to be something for the long term in terms of what this market sentiment is. But I'd be looking for a massive down day to be able to even enter into that. This thing is finally back up above its trade level. Yeah, I love how this looks. This is definitely going to be something that's much more on my radar if you reacts. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you like it? Even a good review. And before you go check out the trade range authentication.web app. This is a pretty good range or a pretty good app. You can sign up for free, super easy to use. You get 10 of these a day to be able to look at some different stocks and you add them to your portfolio. If you want to upgrade, go ahead. I'll talk to you soon.